What we'll do with the webinar is to start off with using a PowerPoint presentation, and we'll go through that. In the middle, after I finish talking about the individual section, I'll give you a demo and show you what the pages look like. And then Natasha is going to talk more about the resources that are available for workforce professionals, and she'll give you a demonstration of what's available to those folks as well. So to get started, what we'll be covering today is a little bit of information about Illinois Worknet and how the information has come about for this section. We'll talk specifically about the laid-off worker assistance section and the updates that have been made to that, and the workforce professional resources that I mentioned. Certainly, if during the webinar you have questions, go ahead and use the share pod, and we will answer those questions as we go along, if possible, but definitely we'll answer those before we leave here today. The laid-off worker assistance pages on Illinois Worknet are very easy to get to for anyone who's going to be looking for that information. Either they can click on the individual's pathway, which you see circled in red here, but they can also click on a quick promo link over on the right-hand side of the page. At that point, you'll also see the icon for the laid-off worker assistance pages, and that's an image that you're going to see consistently used throughout, so that people will be able to identify by that icon, and oftentimes actually specifically with the color, as we're using green for the laid-off worker assistance pages. Illinois Worknet itself consists of numerous web pages, and then initially the portal consisted of web pages that acted as a starting point for web-based services. So there's lots and lots of links taking people to resources that were elsewhere out on the web. And it was designed for self-access to via services. There was more and more external links being used and resources that were outside of Illinois Worknet's control. And what we've been doing is to increase a guidance approach, as well as not taking folks in numerous different places. We're including much of that information on our pages and making sure that they have the information they need without going somewhere else. We're transitioning to that guidance approach, and as part of that, we're restructuring the navigation of the pages. You might have seen some of the redesigns if you went through and took the redesign survey, but we're going to be making those changes to more of a guidance approach, and that will be done by the end of the fiscal year. So each of these steps in the laid-off worker assistance pages are going to include some steps and activities. There are certificates of completion available as customers achieve goals in some areas, and there's lots of different tools for workforce professionals that are available. Now you wonder, how and why do we make the changes that we do? Well, we make the changes not...
They're customer-driven changes.
Yeah, they're customer-driven changes, where throughout the year we do usability studies. Certainly we do many webinars and get feedback that way. We have daily interaction with customers. We have steering and advisory committees that provide us with information, including the rapid response work team and the recommendations that were given in that. We're taking into account and very seriously as we redesign the individual's pathway to make sure information is available there. The redesign to the individual's pathway, well, this is just a teaser. This is what you will see when you go to the individual splash page. Some of the ways that the page is going to be different is that each of the pathways, meaning prepare for a job, learn, find a job, as well as the laid-off workers assistance, are all going to be color-coded. Each of the pathways is going to include guidance steps, not a list of links. The reading level has been updated so that it is much easier to read. The login to the account is going to be right on the splash page, up in the top right corner area, so that they don't have to use additional clicks to be able to log in and create an account. Thank you. There's also lots of different interactive features, and this is something that we've heard in a number of different times. So we're going to be including lots of things like quizzes, rating our resources, ability to see success stories, ability to find information that really is what you need when you need it. To give you an idea of the number of people who are using Illinois Worknet, as well as the number of sites excuse me, that are partners, as well as Worknet centers, and you can take a look here that within a 1-month period of time, there were 723,000 plus unique visits to the web portal, but a total view of pages of over 17 million. We have a number of customer accounts, and well, over 171,000. And as part of those customer accounts, they can elect to receive a newsletter each month, and we have over 120,000 people receiving the monthly newsletter that we put out. There's also newsletters for workforce professionals specifically and businesses specifically, since those audiences do have different needs and interests. There are many sites throughout Illinois that are being utilized by individuals and workforce professionals to share the information. And for people who have taken the Certified Illinois Worknet Advisor course, which at this point is over 1,500 people, these people have gone through a course to learn how to utilize the website and be able to assist customers to better find information. But specifically today, we're getting together to look at the laid-off worker assistance pages and resources. If you notice on the laid-off worker assistance page, first off, you can get to it easily, as I showed you from the splash page or from the individual's pathway. But there's also what we call a short URL, in that if you just typed in www.illinoisworknet.com, laid-off assistance, you would get directly to the pathway. When you get to the splash page of the pathway, you'll see this graphic, which is a pathway for people to step-by-step learn and do what needs to be done to become reemployed. The 7 steps to success, as we're calling them here, each include an updated video. They have interactive activities and worksheets that individuals can use, and they can use with workforce professionals to assist them. There's a TAA, TGAA page, or TGA page. The reading level, again, has been addressed. Any of the pages can be translated to Spanish or a couple of other languages, and the resources are available 24/7. On each of the pages, as I mentioned, there are videos included. Each of these videos is 2 to 3 minutes in length, and it's just an overview of the step. It's not, click here, but it gives them reasoning to take action on that particular step. There's an appealing visual presentation. All of the videos have been produced in English and Spanish with captions. And you can find these videos not only on the not only the laid-off worker assistance pages, but also on YouTube, so that even folks who might not be going directly to Illinois Worknet can find the information and get that together. So we do ask that, if necessary, that the workforce professionals working with these groups utilize the videos and the worksheets that are on each of the pages with workshops. I'll give you an example and show you a video when I do a demonstration, as soon as we're done looking through this section. There are numerous activities, as I've mentioned, and you can see a list here of the activities that are included in the laid-off worker assistance pages. Natasha has worked on creating these, and the initial start of each of these activities was with the Summer Youth Employment Program, but they've been adjusted, and now on Illinois Worknet, not only can you see the worksheet, not only see the directions for the activity, but there are boxes that the individuals can add information and save it for later. And on these pages, workforce professionals working with them in groups can take a look and see what their answers were to those items as well. There are worksheets which are available in PDF, Microsoft Word, as well as on the web, and include things like a resume checklist, how to write a 30-second elevator speech, and more. So individuals can print these out and use them to help them move forward to do things like creating a resume. All right, in addition to the guidance approach on the laid-off workers assistance pages, there's also a link to a page that lists several company-specific laid-off worker assistance pages. On these pages, and these are put together by the local workforce professionals or laid-off worker assistance individuals for a specific layoff event. On these pages can be listed where there are workshops, what needs to be done, who is the contact person, what can be done before, during, and after the layoff. And this can be quite helpful. Make sure that these things are updated so that people can have access to them and know what to do. These are easy so that you can directly have an individual go to one of these pages to see what it is that needs to be done. It's customized specifically for them. The TAA TGA page lists information for individuals affected by a trade-affected layoff, and it has a variety of information, lets them know what they need to do from step to step. The brochures that DCEO had put together, it provides much of the information that goes on this page. So this information that they're going to see in print that's coming from DCEO is also represented here. Before we go into the workforce professionals pathway, and Natasha, I know, is eager to share with you that information, I'd like to give you a little bit of a demonstration so you can see what the laid-off worker pages look like on the individual's pathway. So I'm going to share my screen, so it's going to go gray here for a moment. So please be patient. Coming up, the power of the internet. So, okay, now you see a white screen. All right, now you see my screen, finally, at long last. I've gone to the laid-off worker assistance pages on Illinois Worknet. Again, I access this from the main page, and I can go quickly home, just so you can see how I got here. Go to Illinois Worknet. And throughout the portal, if you click on the icon in the top corner of the screen, it's going to take you to the splash page so that you can choose which pathway you go to on the portal, whether it's individuals, workforce professionals, businesses, or so forth. Okay. All right. Tell you what, we're just going to go from here because the connection is a little bit slow this morning. Do you have any questions while we're waiting for the page to come up? You can use the polling section to be able to do that. Oh, the chat pod, I'm sorry. All right, from the main page, again, you can click on individuals, or you can click on laid-off worker assistance here on the right-hand side of the page. So I'll go ahead and click on that icon in text. It'll take you to the laid-off worker assistance guidance page for individuals. You can access all the rest of the pages and pathways on Illinois Worknet by utilizing the menu over on the left. The laid-off worker assistance has its own section, and here you can see the 7 steps to success, in addition to the company-specific layoff pages and the TAA information. Well, let's take a look at one of these pages. Notice on the guidance steps here that when you hover over, in other words, I'm not clicking, but just sort of moving my pointer over top one of the graphics, it's going to change colors just a little bit. You may or may not be able to see that, but also the information in the middle of the screen changes depending on which icon I'm hovering over. And it changes in that green box at the top of the page. We're going to go to connecting to benefits and services just to take a look and show you some of the options that are available for people. On this page, you'll see that first off, there are icons for each of the 7 steps of success, and individuals can easily navigate to those pages by just clicking on the icon above, so that makes it kind of nice. There's guidance for using the pages, and we use what's called an info bubble here. So it looks like a little eye with the exclamation and a speech bubble, and if I click on this, it'll show you how you can use this particular page, so just so you know how that works. On the page itself, you notice that there first is the video that's available in that step. Okay, sorry. Okay. First, there's the video that's available. There's a link where an individual can click on the information to get unemployment insurance. There's a link to go to the company-specific layoff pages. On this page, there is not an activity or a worksheet available, but if you go to, for example, the Explore Careers and Training page, you'll see that those items are available. And I'll show you those. If you take a look here, what you'll see, first of all, there's an activity, and there's 3 of those here, including Introduction to Exploring Careers and Training, Finding Training Programs, Setting a Goal. There's a computer skills survey that individuals can take so they can learn if they need additional computer skills available. I'm going to take a look back at one of these videos, and so we've got ready to show you the benefits video here. It's down at the bottom of the page. You can click on it to jump down to the bottom of the page, and once you get there, you can just go ahead and play.
Benefits and services are available to help you during this transition period from being laid off to starting your new job. Visit the Illinois Worknet services area to learn more about health services, public assistance and support, child care, and more. Enter your zip code to view local information. Learn about unemployment insurance and file for unemployment online. Workers who become unemployed through no fault of their own and meet certain other eligibility requirements may be eligible for benefits. View the company-specific layoff pages or locate Illinois Worknet centers and their partners in your area. Now, watch the Illinois Worknet develop a financial plan video.
Each of those videos is similar in nature, where it's just, again, going to engage people and give them a reason to take action on these steps to better help themselves. Moving on from that, we can show you the company-specific layoff page quickly. Again, on this page are information specifically done by local contact for layoffs in that particular area. So if I go ahead and click on one of these pages, and this one's for Gallant Breeding Corporation, you'll see that there are details here on when are the meetings, who is the contact, what they can do before, during, and after a layoff. These pages can be updated by the local content managers as needed, so that it doesn't need to be just the same page one time. So as additional events are added, perhaps, or different details, those can be added very quickly. On the Trade Adjustment Act and Assistance page, we'll go to that quickly. You notice there's details and links so that individuals can learn about the policies, the programs, learning about the the petition process, and what kinds of services are available for them in these programs, as well as the qualifications for them to participate in those. Now, with the laid-off worker assistance pages, before we move on to the next step, what I would like to show you is one of the activities, unless Natasha would like to. Yep. All right. So we're going to go to one of the pages, this time it's getting organized. Take a look at one of the activities on the laid-off worker pages for individuals. In regards to, let's say, introduction to interviewing, which is an activity. Again, these are activities that are available on Illinois Worknet. With the activities, the individuals can go and answer some of the questions. When they're done reviewing the information, that's what was going on. Okay. When they're done entering in information, after they've done, what should you do after a job interview? Okay. Once an individual is done answering all the questions, and here they see what they need to look at, and there's a link to the page where that information can be found. The individual can save the activities, which is good for them to be able to go back and refer to, but also if they're placed in a group by a workforce professional, that workforce professional can take a look at the activities as well to follow up with them and help them move forward. You see down here at the bottom of the screen, there's a box that says please log in order to save activities. Individuals do need to create an Illinois Worknet account to be able to save these activities, to be able to participate in groups, as well as have availability to other resources like the resume builder. Again, the laid-off worker assistance pages are available 24/7 for people who are involved in events or layoffs, or for anyone who is in fact laid off in Illinois and needs some additional assistance. Natasha, if you can tell us about what's in the Workforce Professionals Pathway.
Okay, well, with the Workforce Professionals Pathway, it provides resources that are available to assist, help workforce professionals assist individuals and businesses. And with this side of the pathway, it does require that your account is approved before you're provided access. So to get to the Workforce Pathway, you can click on Workforce Professionals Pathway, enter here, and you can either log in, set up an Illinois Worknet, a request for a Workforce Professionals account if your location is already an Illinois Worknet partner. If you're not an Illinois Worknet partner, then you will have to submit a request to become an Illinois Worknet partner, and then your account, upon that approval, you will have an Illinois Worknet account. Now, there's lots of different resources within Illinois Worknet and on the Workforce Professionals Pathway. And some of the pages that we're going to take a look at today are the home page, the resources page, and the marketing page. And I wanted to briefly cover these just to let you know that for the information that's available on each of these pages and how you can access it. Because as I mentioned before, you need to be provided or given access to the Workforce Professionals Pathway. And we have lots and lots of different tools that are available. And depending on your situation or the audience that you serve, you can have access to additional tools as well, but that may require either some kind of other action, whether it's completing an online course before you can have access to the tool, or submitting a request to have access to the tool. So these specialized tools that I was talking about, these will be available on your home page. The home page is basically your dashboard, and it provides initial steps originally just to get you familiar with some of the resources, the general resources that are available within Illinois Worknet on the Workforce Pathway. Provides single sign-on. We have online courses that are available to you, and content management, and more. And what we do is provide links to those from your dashboard, so you don't have to remember yet another username and password. It just simply takes you into that tool. And then we have some additional resources as well, like the business layoff and closing, and that's a tool that requires you to request authorization and staff to provide that for you. Now on the resources page, the resources page is available to anyone who has a Workforce Professionals account. So once you're in, you have access. We did update the resources on this page to format it such that it's a layoff toolkit. So you have planning and outreach, you have tools that are within Illinois Worknet for working with businesses and individuals, and then additional resources. Some of you are already familiar with the TAA TGA pages that have been recently updated with all the new forms. In addition to these resources, we also have a marketing page. So you can access marketing resources on the resources page and specifically in the layoff toolkit and the planning and outreach, but we also have additional options for you so you can even further customize the resources for your area. Some of the resources include flyer, postcard, different icons, business card, handouts with different options. And to get access to this page, all you have to do is simply read and agree to the terms of use, and you have access to those resources. This is just a screen capture to let you see that we do have, the single sign-on. We have places over here on the left that have additional tools that are available, and then guidance for getting started. But I do want just to make you aware that if you're not as familiar with Worknet as some of the others that are on the phone or in the webinar, with Illinois Worknet we do make a lot of enhancements. We add a lot of tools, and one of the things that is coming up is that we're going to more of a graphical approach for your dashboard. And it's going to follow the same format that Pam was talking about as to updating the individual's pathway. You'll see similar changes to the workforce professionals pathway. So just to let you know that those are in the pipeline. Okay, as I mentioned before, we have the business layoffs and closing tool, and I'll show you that in just a moment. But it's really nice. It comes from the debt system, and you can just easily see a map of where the layoff is occurring, and just an overview of the degree to which the number of people being laid off. Is it more than 50? Is it less than 50? On the resources page, as I mentioned before, we have the Laid Off Worker Assistance Layoff Toolkit with the planning and outreach. So we try to provide a guidance approach for each of these areas that are available within the toolkit, as well as additional resources. An example of some additional resources would be the TAA TGA resources that are available, and many of you, I'm sure, already have received a notice about the forms that are available on this page, and that's through the resources page. Now, as I mentioned before, that the first part of that toolkit we talked about was the planning and outreach. And a key component of this planning and outreach is really creating that company-specific layoff page, because you can customize the information for a specific audience. And so one of the things that you can do is use some of the marketing materials, provide the marketing materials to them, and also let them know that this company-specific layoff page is available. And that's where they can find out information about upcoming workshops, any news or events that is specific to their layoff, and what to do before, during, or after the layoff. And as I mentioned before, or have down here at the bottom, are you a content manager? Because if you're not, this is how you update this page. To update or create a company-specific layoff page, you have to be what we call a content manager. And you can be a content manager. All you have to do is complete the Certified Illinois Worknet online course, and then you have you can be pre-registered for the content management course. And with that, you can add local content, whether it's news, events, information about workshops, and what we were talking about before with the company-specific layoff pages. So you can have access to being an author and updating information and customizing it for your area. with your resources. The other page that I mentioned before, the marketing page, this is just an example or a screen capture just to show you some of the resources that are available on the marketing page. We do ask that you take a look at the graphics guidelines just so you know the appropriate way to use the resources within Illinois Worknet, so we have a consistent message and a consistent look and feel across the state as with regards to Illinois Worknet. But we do have lots of different resources that you can have and take a look at. This particular screen capture is of the office and print materials. So the print materials, you can print out brochures, postcards, business cards, fact sheets, flyers. Now, these contain more than just the laid-off worker resources, but just keep that in mind too, because if you need to update your resource rooms or your computer labs that you might have, you can use these resources and have them printed off and post them within your facility. You can also update some of these or modify some of these brochures, worksheets for a specific audience. We do have some photos that maybe you have a layoff that's specifically a manufacturing layoff. We do have some manufacturing photos. Maybe you could incorporate some of the manufacturing photos in there, or specifically some of the laid-off worker icons that are used. So you have options. This is an example of the business card layout marketing material that we have, and this is a suggestion from the field. Because when we were talking to people, they're like, well, we like to use the business card size handout because first, they can have our contact information, but then they also have just an easy way with the URL to put it in their wallet. They can either write down their username and password on there, but they can keep it with them so they can easily access it later, as opposed to being in a pile of flyers and then it gets lost, or I can't remember where I found it. So we do have one that you can customize with your contact information, but then we have a general one that doesn't require contact information. And the idea is that you could have this within their packet or hand it to them as they're walking into the workshop and ask them to put it in their wallet. And during the workshop, you can just have the laid-off worker page up on the screen, so they have a visual of what they will see whenever they go to the laid-off worker page. And say, I know that you have a lot on your mind. You're going to get a lot of resources. So what we'd like you to do is put a business card into your wallet right now. So whenever you have access to a computer or you have some time, you can just take a moment, follow these three easy steps to get to the laid-off worker page. And these are the resources that are available. And we even have a company-specific layoff page just for you, so you know where to find your information for your layoff. We also have flyers that are available too. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and kind of go over some of the next steps, just so I can jump into the demonstration. But I do ask that you review the resources on the Workforce Professionals Pathway, and if there's some changes that we need to make, or if you have additional resources or questions, please feel free to contact us and let us know what updates need to be made. Use the laid-off worker assistance resources. We have a planning guide that's out there that you can, just remind you of the tools that we have available within Worknet that you can use and identify the lead person and the time to complete that, your due date on those. So that's available. Also has some instructions for accessing the company-specific layoff pages. Also, we have those marketing materials that you can customize. Maybe you want to customize it for the specific industry that's being laid off, or if you have your existing brochures that you use and you want to add some of the laid-off worker icons to those, feel free to do so as well. We also invite you or ask you to use the link to us, and you can direct individuals that are on your website specifically to the laid-off worker pages that are available in Illinois Worknet. So instructions on how to link to us are available on that page as well. And so if you have some individuals that weren't able to join us today, just go ahead and please share this information with them as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and share my computer screen and demonstrate some of the resources that are available and tools that are available to you on the Workforce Professionals Pathway. Now, I'm already logged in, so I showed you in the PowerPoint where you'll be able to see where it says Workforce Professionals Pathway, enter here. I'm logged in. This is my dashboard, and it will be changing, so just expect it. But for now, we have the links to our single sign-on right here in the center of the page, so you can see I have my online courses, and I have my content management, easy access. I have some additional tools over here. If you don't have access to them, this format will change with the update as well, but where you can request access from one location. But for right now, we have various tools that are available on the left-hand side, and you'll receive a message to let you know if you do or do not, or if you need to request access to these pages. Now, one of the things I'm going to show you right now, since we're right here, is the business layoffs and closing page. Now, with the business layoff and closing page, you can have a statewide look. You can, set your start and end date. I could have selected from a map, and it's coming here. And what's nice about this is you can see, a map, and it shows you where the layoffs are occurring. And also if they have more than 50 people or less than 50 people, and then you can click on to select it, and it'll show you additional details. My internet is being slow right now, but looks like it just, I of course clicked on the and if I have the right. There we go. So for this particular county, it's showing that there were 3 layoffs, and you can see it says the 50 or more employees or less than 50 employees. Whenever I select one of these areas, I have additional information. I have the desk number and additional details. So all that's a tool that's available to you, but you would have to request access to that before you'll be able to get to that tool. The other tool that I was talking about was the customer groups page. And as I mentioned before, the laid-off workers can complete activities, they can complete interest inventories, and you as a workforce professional have a tool that's available to you called customer groups. And if a person is in your customer group, then you can view their responses to their activities. You can take a look at their interest inventories. So I have my test group here. And you'll be able to see that I have 2 people in my group. And whenever I click on this person, I can see that this person did not take an interest inventory. This one did take an interest inventory, so I could click on that and look at what it shows as a possible good match for an occupation for them, if they need some retraining or maybe some on-the-job training. And then under the customer survey, then you can see their activity results. So if I clicked here, it would show, display their responses for all their activities that they've completed, like what Pam was saying with career exploration, finding training programs, and so forth. So those are just some tools that are available to you, and you would have to request authorization to access those tools. Another resource I mentioned before is on the resources page. Just want to just really quickly show you this resources page. We have lots of resources available to you. You can look at the laid off worker assistance toolkit. Again, we use our accordions we call these yellow bars our accordions, so that you can just simply click to expand and show the information. So it's easy to scan and find the resources that you're looking for. We have the quick reference materials at the bottom. So you can see we have the planning guide, printing materials, icons, business cards, flyers, and so forth. Then we also have, I'm going to go up here and go to the marketing page. On the marketing page, again, you have all types of resources that are available to you. We have resources for setting up partners. So if your computer lab or your resource room isn't set up, then there's some resources that are available for you there as well. We have the fonts and logos, graphic guidelines. Please take a look at those. The print materials. You'll see we have lots of different types of print materials and options for you. And then I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the photos and icons. I'm clicking on silhouettes and icons because we have the laid off worker icons available for you to use in this section as well. So that, I will also show you an example of the postcard size handout. So with the postcard size handout, again, you can modify it so that you can customize it for the specific layoff, or if you wanted to make it a general postcard, you can just make it a general postcard and as a handout as well. I'm going to go ahead and go back to our page. Take a look at the next thing. Some of the things that are coming soon. We are working on updates to the customer groups. Currently, for the customer groups, you have to request authorization, and you would have to search for the person. They have to have an Illinois Worknet account. You search for them and put them into your group. With the update, you don't have to request special authorization. Instead, we would use an invitation process. So you could send an invitation to the laid off worker, and they just accept. If they accept, then you would be able to view their activities, interest inventories, and that type of information. As I mentioned before, we are going to be updating the Workforce Professionals Pathway Dashboard along with the other redesign components that are taking place throughout the portal. And one of our tools that we're kind of excited about is the AFL-CIO Peer Counselor Reporting Tool. So those of you who work with the peer counselors, this is a tool that your peer counselors can use to walk them through the process, provide them with the information and the tools that are available to them through the Workforce Professionals Pathway to help them work with their peers, and also provides it's a reporting tool that provides the necessary or required reports to DCO as well. So those are things to keep your eyes open for. And if you have any questions, please go ahead and put those in the chat pod. We do welcome questions. If you don't have any questions right this moment, but you think of something later, or you see something you'd like us to add something to our guidance or workforce professionals pages, you can go ahead and send them to the info@illinoisworknet.com. And if you're not already following us on Facebook or Twitter, please do, because that's one of the ways that we can say, just easily let you know that, we added some new pages to the, TA to GOV page, or, this resource was just recently added, or, Karen Allen provided, not Karen, we wouldn't call you specifically out, but, a local workforce investment area, provided a new resource, or share your ideas, something like that. We can provide that information.
We are making some updates to the TAA, TGA page, Trade Assistance Act page, and including the RTAA for older workers and ATAA for older workers information and additional accordions. So we're going to be reviewing that and getting that out there, and I'd like to have you take a look at that as well.
Our final page. So if you would, go ahead and, like I said, if you have any questions, please ask us any questions. But then also, we have some questions for you. So if you could, go ahead and answer the polling questions, because if you're interested in letting and becoming a content manager, just let us know. We can go ahead and get you registered for the online course. And then, we want to, see if you're already following us on Facebook or Twitter, LinkedIn. We have the RSS feeds, plus we have YouTube. So we have different ways that we're, sharing information, getting it out there to not only, to individuals, but also we'd like to increase the our workforce professionals that are following us as well, because it's an easy way to quickly provide you an update without bombarding you with lots of emails. So I don't see that we have any questions. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. We really do appreciate you taking the time to do that. And again, if you have any questions, just let us know. With that, have a great day. Thank you.